Squeeze my cheeks and I'll give you a kiss. Are you looking for a fun, easy project that you can share this Easter? Today I have another fun project that anyone can do, because believe me, if I can do it, you can do it. Hi, I'm Elise and welcome to Kinda Crafty. On this channel, my sister Danielle and I like to share fun, easy crafts that anyone can do. If you're like us and just dipping your toes into this world of crafting, then this is the place for you. On today's episode, I'm sharing with you a fun, easy craft that you could make for your kids for their Easter baskets. You can give it to a friend, a teacher, whatever you want. It's called Squeeze My Cheeks and I'll Give You a Kiss. So let's get going. For this project, you're going to need some yarn, and I have some yellow and some white. And then you're also going to need some felt and plastic grid sheets. I'm not really sure what they're called, but you can get them at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Then you're going to need some pom-pom balls and wide-eyed needles. That's for the yarn. And eyeballs. So the first thing you're going to do is measure out your grid sheet. And what I do is I measure it out, and I measure it out by counting each of the squares. I want about 3 inches, so I'm just counting out to about 3 inches, which turns out to be 20 squares. And then I cut it just one above the 20 because I'm going to be trimming it down. You're going to need 3 squares, so I just cut it all the way across, and then I'm going to measure out 20 going the opposite direction. And then make my 3 squares. Then once I get my squares all cut, I'm just going to trim the edges because they're going to stick out just a little bit. So I just want to make it all flat and smooth. So now that I have my 3 squares, I'm going to start with my yarn. So I first decided to go with this fuzzy Chanel type yarn, and you start off in the corner. You're going to make a knot at the end, and you're just going to go back and forth on your square from one side to the other, starting at the point, going all the way up. I had a lot of issues with this particular yarn. It kept kind of fraying on me, and I couldn't get it through my needle. So I had to come up with different ways to kind of get it through my sheet there. First I used some tape at the ends and cut it down to kind of a point, and then I tried glue. I just was really struggling trying to get this through the sheet. I did it, as you can see, but it was giving me a hard time. There I'm using the tape instead of the needle. I did end up changing my yarn from this Chanel fluffy yarn to a fluffy yarn but more manageable. And you'll see what I'm talking about. So once you get your yarn up to the very end, you're going to put it through that last square, and then what you're going to do, sorry, I went out of camera, is you're going to bring it through your yarn, kind of back through to the other side, and then just clip it, and it just kind of falls back into what you've already done, so you can't see it. So here are my 3 squares with the new yarn. Now when you do this next part, you're going to want to make sure that you have the yarn going up and down. That's going to make a big difference at the end. And I did figure out a way to get my yarn through the needle. I found just a little piece of ribbon, and it worked really well. I just kind of folded it around the yarn, stuck it through the eye, and pulled it straight through. It was great. It was a nice little hack. It made it so much easier for the rest of the project. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to start off on the corner. But wait, first, I forgot, you have to make your knot at the end, so you have something to keep it in place. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to start at the top of your corner, and you're going to go from the inside out because you want to kind of hide that knot. And then once you get going, then you're just going to go around, just up and around each of the squares down the side. And when you reach the corner, you're going to want to do it 3 times on that one particular square. So you get one side, the middle, and then back over onto the other side. It just makes it a little cleaner, so you don't have the plastic sheet showing through. Then you're going to go and start down the other side. Now you're just going to do 2 sides. You're not going to do all 4 sides. You're just going to do 2 sides with the yarn going up and down. So I slowed it down a little bit just so you can see what I was talking about with doing it on the corner and then going down the other side. Once you finish the second side, you're going to connect your third piece to the existing two pieces that you just sewed together. You're going to want to make sure it's going the right direction, and then you're going to push it on the inside of that opening. Then you're going to connect the corners, going down two sides, making one piece the back, and then you're going to have two pieces as the front and your opening. Once you have the four sides sewn together, you're going to have an opening. And what you're going to do, instead of course, sewing those together, you're just going to use the yarn to cover the plastic of your opening. And just by doing the same thing you've been doing, you're just going to do it, instead of connecting them together, you're just going to do it on the one. So first you're going to do the bottom side, and then you will work your way around and do the top. As you can see, I'm running out of yarn. So all you're going to do if you run out of yarn is you're just going to add some more to it. Just tie it in a knot and keep going until you get to the other side. Then once you're done, you just tie it off, and there you have it. So the next thing I'm going to do is, this is going to be my bunny. So I just loosely took a pencil and just kind of eyed what I wanted my ears to look like and how big I wanted them, and then I just cut them out. And then once I cut them, I just trimmed them a little bit just to make them a little bit more even. And then the next thing I did was I took some pink felt and I first traced the ear so I knew how big the original ear was. And then I just, on the inside of that, I traced a smaller ear. Just basically, this is what's going to go inside my ears. Then I just hot glued the front of my ears to the back. And then hot glued them onto the back of my bunny. So then I was going to put my eyes on my bunny and realized as I was putting them on that these eyes that I got were way too small for what I wanted. So I ended up having to go a whole different route. But first I decided to put on my pom-poms. So I did my little nose with the two little puffy things underneath it. And I thought I had white in my pom-poms, but I didn't. So I just went with this yellow and then a cute little pink nose. So then, like I said, I just went with some felt that I found and used them for the eyes. I forgot to film that part, but there you have it. So then I decided I wanted to do a little chick. So I'm basically going to be doing the same thing. But in this case, I decided to do it smaller. So instead of a 20 count, this is just a 10 count square. But instead of doing a knot, it's easier when you have a smaller piece to just hold the end of the yarn as you're sewing, as you're going back and forth. It actually makes it a lot smoother. You don't have like a bump. With the bigger one, it wasn't that big a deal because it is so big you don't really see or feel the bump. But when you do one that's small, and this is actually the original size of this project, the Squeeze My Cheeks and I'll Give You a Kiss, because generally you just put like one kiss in it, which I'll show you here in a second. But you just go back and forth like you did with the others, and everything is the same. You have 3 pieces that you fill in, and then you put them together like you did the big bunny. Now it's a little easier to see how to end this. You are going to go through the last square, and then you're going to take your needle and your yarn, and you're just going to go up through the middle and pull it through. And then clip it off, and it just makes it all, without doing the knot, it just makes it very smooth and easy to work with. Now you have a little chick. And I wanted to show the difference between if you do it long ways or short ways. I accidentally did this the wrong direction, And as you can see, it kind of, when you squeeze the cheeks, it kind of clumps up in the inside. So that's why it's good to have it going long ways instead of, or going up and down instead of across. So then what I decided to do is I wanted to make a loop. You can stick this on a tree, like if you have an Easter tree, or hang it wherever you want. So then what I wanted to do is, since this was a little chick, I wanted to give it kind of a fluffy, feathery look at the top of its head. So I just added a few little strands of yarn at the top. And then once I got a couple of strands and I clipped them off, I just took my needle and just kind of frayed them so they would be more wispy. And then I just kind of trimmed that so they looked a little bit more manageable. So I grabbed the eyes that I bought, because these eyes were actually a good size for this size of a project, and then just glued them onto the front. I mean, I could have gotten a little bigger eyes, but I had these, so I thought they would work. As you can see, I kind of had an issue with my glue. I was kind of getting it everywhere. But I just kind of let it dry a little bit, and then I just clipped it off. Now I was going to do the beak orange, but I didn't have any orange with me. Then I decided that I wanted to put a loop on my bunny as well. I had a hard time getting it through, but I actually did the loop on my bunny a little different than I did on my chick. On my chick, I just kind of went straight through and tied it at the top. This one, I kind of went through the top of the bunny to make the loop, and then I tied it at the bottom. Now that I have my bunny and my chick, it's time for the best part of this project. Filling them up with kisses. I was going to get the Easter colors, but they didn't have any almond ones, and that's my favorite, are almond kisses. So I went ahead and just got this little bag of almond kisses because I knew that I would eat those more than the regular ones. So like I said, the smaller one, it really only fits one kiss. You might be able to get two in there, but generally it's just one. But with my bunny, I wanted to do a bigger one so I could really put a lot of kisses in his mouth. So I'm just filling it up. So these would be good to give to friends, to teachers, just to have, you can put it in your Easter baskets for your kids. They just make really cute, fun Easter items. There you have it. Squeeze my cheeks and I'll give you a kiss. So there you have it. I think these are so cute and they're so easy. It looks more difficult, but it's actually more time consuming than anything. And if you just do like the small ones, like the chick, it doesn't really take that much time at all. But I just thought that this little guy was very cute and fun. I can set it on my desk and people can open it up and take a treat out of it, or I could just give it to someone. I just thought they were really cute. So if you like this kind of content, please let us know in the comments below and other things you would like us to try. Also, please give us a big thumbs up if you found any kind of value out of this video. And please don't forget to subscribe, push that bell notification so when the next video comes out, you will be notified. And until then, I hope you have a great day, a great week, and I'll see you later. Bye!